Hello everyone and welcome back to the Brightworks. I sure do love to bring you guys the very best of games that I possibly can, and well, it does not get much better than this. Yes, indeed, right away you can see that on the right hand side here we have some big names in the chat today. Coming in on our eastern side, representing the blue team, we have MightySheep wearing the crown of victory. I believe that was for the 3v3 tournament, I want to say. It might have been the 4v4. I can't remember exactly, but taking home the glory, the gold, the first place prize. You get your avatar changed, and MightySheep wearing that beautiful golden crown leading the blue team here. Dressed up in Armada as well. We'll have to see it. Spawning on the western side, a fan favorite. It's the big Dolphy himself, going to be showing us what he's got here on Tabula Remake. Very fun map, always some really interesting stuff. There's obviously a diagonal parity to this map, or diagonal symmetry to this map, so the line is roughly like that, although I do notice Yato Nico, there we go, Yato Nico 0, pushing forward here. And interesting enough, it looks like, yeah, Trash Panda is going to be supporting Yato Nico from the backline here. Now, I did spec this game. I often like to lurk in these high skill lobbies and often find games that I think are really interesting. And well, I think you folks will really enjoy this one. Dolphin making big pushes forward here on the front line. It's funny, you know, because when you play in the regular lobbies, right, quote unquote, that's just lower true skill lobbies. It's often the best player will go to the backline, and you know, they will eco up because they know how to manage that properly, and eventually get the heavy hitting units out and swing the game one way or another. In these pro lobbies, it almost flips on its head. You kind of see the big names. Well, basically all of these names are big, so there's not so big of a variation. It's just comes down to more like what you want to play. And I definitely, at least in my experience, whenever I tend to play in these high true skill lobbies, it's very often I end up in the eco spot, and not for any particular reason. That's just everyone else will pick a frontline spot. I guess these pros are just frontline addicts. They've had enough playing in the back, and they'd rather leave that to the others. Backline here for the red team is going to be Platis51, Baracus, Nix Rosa, and Trash Panda. Trash Panda, another name we should recognize. Another member of the team that took home the 3v3 gold, I believe. Again, could have been the 4v4. I do get those tournaments mixed up in my head all the time. So this is an interesting strategy. Yato Nico going for a, pushing forward with the commander, and then not going for any sort of bot lab on the back of it, and just feeding Trash Panda here. And I think it definitely could work. It's going to allow Trash Panda to have a huge influx of metal, right? But it does mean that Yato Nico, man, I'm really struggling with that name, is going to be a little bit sparse on the front lines, right? There's already grunts out. There was already a couple of ticks earlier for Lost Dead Man. Yeah, it's a tricky one for sure. Those are certainly going to be some. There's going to be some tough frontline battles with just a commander here. Eventually, pawns are streaming out, and I think once those hit the front lines, this will be a lot more comfortable. Some damage being done over here. MDXD. You guys will notice that in a lot of these games with the higher skill players, I don't even get a chance to call out who got the first unit across the field, because every single player on the front line is usually getting some units out. Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one to call on these pro games, but I guess that's what makes them so exciting, right? Getting right to the action right out of the gate. Fire Z-Storm, taking a little bit of abuse from some rocket bots here, but being sure to dish it out just as well. Got some rocket bots to at the very least be counter-offensive here. Punish those rocket bots for stepping a little too close and trying to take down those towers, and that's what you'll get, a rocket to the face. Greg trying to get aggressive down here. Grunts being repulsed by a couple of light laser turrets. They're pretty good, those light laser turrets. They certainly are efficient against T1. Can't really say they're efficient against basically anything after T1, but certainly up until T1, they're pretty good. You get into, I mean, even the higher end of T1, like Centurions, and they start to be a little bit less useful, but certainly against Grunts, they're going to have a field day. Loads of pings coming up here. Whoa, looks like there was a double comm sacrifice right up here. Looks like Dolphy's commander went down right next to... Whose is that? Let's see. MDXD's. Both of those commanders going down right there. That's a whopping what would it be? 3,000 metal, 1,250. So give or take 3,000 metal if you add in all the bots and whatnot that left behind wreckages here. Very, very nice to see. Platus is going to get a ton of metal and going to be able to feed that back to the team. That's going to be a really huge economic advantage. I wonder if Dolphy's going to go into T2. We are building a metal lab to house some of this metal. Dolphy using a constructor on the front lines here to eat up metal, but Platus will receive the vast majority of it. Where's Platus? Oh, Platus is in the back line here. Okay, so Platus is going for a metal box now. A little bit late for that. You've already eaten up most of the metal over there. Commander goes down over here as well to a bunch of MightySheep's forces that pushed in. That was Baracus's commander. Going down to, I believe, this little push here from some of these Janus tanks. They're dangerous, man, because as soon as they get under range, you know, your commander falls within range of those Janus tanks. It does not take very many salvos of missiles to bring down a commander. Certainly, 2 or 3 or 4 Januses can take down a commander in very little time. Another commander falls on the front line here. Looks like that one is going to be... Oh, what color is that? Firestorm? Is that Firestorm's commander? I believe it is. Yeah, wow. Firestorm's forward facility is ravaged here. And that's pretty much the end of them. Yeah, there's not a whole lot left on the back here. There's a couple of T1 solar panels and a light laser turret and a lone construction bot. But yeah, this front line is falling quick to our Baron. So we're going to need to see some sort of force on the front line. I'm surprised we haven't seen the T2 transition. Oh, we do see a T2 transition. What am I even talking about? T2 coming up here in the back line for Platus, who did eat up all that metal. But frankly, a lot of that metal went to the team. Which is not bad. It's fine to share metal, but if you're in the backline, you want to be greedy about it and at least get that T2 up so that at the quickest rate possible, you can get those T2 out to your teammates and everybody's going to be having a good time. This is interesting. Apparently, Lost Deadman has managed to move a couple of rocket bots up onto the high ground here. I have the high ground, Anakin. Don't risk it. Don't do it, Anakin. That's what these bots are saying here. Let me get a better view of this. Don't do it, Anakin. I have the high ground. You can see these rocket bots have a huge advantage, or a huge positional advantage up here. They can just shell away from long distance, and there's not really much that can be done. Yeah, Yotaniko trying to D-gun his way up this mountain, but it's tricky to do. Yeah, it's very tricky to do. It's hard to know whether your D-gun will hit or not. It kind of bugs out, and it's difficult to see if the map is, well, if you're pointing in the right direction, right? Can you walk? Oh, you can walk up this. Okay. I didn't realize this was a ramp right here. This line that we're indicating, that is definitely a ramp. Very good to see. This is a really great position for Lost Deadman. Holding on to that will be crucial to taking over this area. Basically, well, it's already taken down Yotaniko's lab, but with Trash Panda's support, hopefully Yotaniko can hold on. But those rocket bots are incredibly annoying. Don't stray too far. Just want to check on the rest of the map really quickly. Looks like the northern part is held by the red team, but the blue team is pushing in through mid. Meanwhile, Trash Panda is pushing up here. Does Lost Deadman see it? Oh, he moves the rocket bots closer. Oh, miracle D-guns right there, taking out all of those rocket bots. What was that? Maybe 8 or 9 rocket bots right there, going down to a couple of D-guns. That's a phenomenal trade. And now Lost Deadman is in a really, really tricky position, cut off from his entire army. There's only one path up this hill here, and with no way to get the units up, well, no units to get up, I should say. Yeah, Lost Deadman's in quite a tricky spot here. Gonna need to see some help from the team in order to get out. Otherwise, eventually that commander is as good as dead. Gonna take some pro-level micro to keep that alive. Meanwhile, the aggression in the middle of the map is continuing onward. These Whistler trucks counteracting the Shell Shockers here. Shell Shockers obviously very, very good, very high damage, but they're even better when you mix them with artillery missile trucks rather. And the reason for that is the missile trucks have a really huge range. So you can incorporate just a couple of missile trucks, and it allows these Shell Shockers to fire away at an even greater distance. Something that I would definitely recommend in case you're looking into the vehicle play. Yeah, just instead of one of these Shell Shockers, sub it out for a missile truck and just sort of keep it in the mix, but make sure not to risk it too much, and you're going to be in a really, really nice spot. 10 missile trucks is enough to start doing some damage here, but we've already got some tanks that have leaked through into the back lines. Shell Shocker's not going to be the ideal solution here as these tanks continue to push forward. We're thinking about anti-air, but that's not really the problem that's currently on the plate, as now Nix Rosa is having to deal with High Foods tanks ravaging the backline economy. Wind turbines are going down, and that's going to shut down all of the production over here. Oh, no metal either. Yeah, we are just completely resource strapped. Nix Rosa, that is. And that is definitely going to hurt. That's going to be difficult to recuperate from. In fact, Nix Rosa decides to tap out at this point. Oh, it'll take run by. I think they're going the wrong direction, though. No. You want to push these into the enemy base. I definitely think if you could kill Sanguinius over here, he may have the gene seed of his father, but he certainly isn't impervious to immeasurable volumes of tank fire. Yeah, these tanks are still ravaging the backline here. Meanwhile, this engagement is... Oh, wow, Lost Deadman's still alive. The commander dance. Oh, yeah, okay, a bunch of grunts snuck through, and now they're in the backline of Sad Panda here. Trash Panda, sorry, not Sad Panda. I think this is a different player. Anyway, Trash Panda's facilities back here are ravaged, and he decides to tap out of the game. That's going to mean the Lost Deadman no longer has to micro the commander to dodge missiles left and right. Here you can see those missile trucks being used to great effect from these shell shockers, but the blue team has already done enough damage to swing this battle in their favor. Now, Dolphy is on T2. That's very nice to see, getting the constructor out, but he decides to tap in as well after realizing that basically the entire front line is gone. And the blue team is going to call, or the red team is going to call it, rather. The blue team called it by, well, forced the red team to call it with unlimited pressure and an excellent push here. Didn't even make it well and properly into the T2 stage. Just goes to show how aggressive these pros can be. Really, really fun stuff. Love to see it, and I hope you enjoyed watching today. I will see you in the next video.